Welcome everyone to my YouTube video. Have you been trying to push and you had this error? Have you been trying to push and you had this error? It says rejected. Failed to push some refs to HTTP that or update where you reject and all of that. You're having this error message. So now I'm going to be showing you how to solve this issue. Okay, I'll show you how to solve this issue. So it is very simple. Okay, so let me just go out of this directory. Cd dot. Let me create a new directory. Let me call this directory test2.sh. Cd into test2.sh. Cd into test2.sh. We're in test2. So I'm going to initialize this repo, git init. So I've initialized. You can see I've initialized this repo. And next I'm going to touch a file called app.py, a Python file, app.py. I'm going to add content to this file using echo. I'm going to just add a file. This is a YouTube video. Okay. Then I'm going to append this to app.py. So if I cut app.py, I have that content. This is a YouTube video. So now, if one git status, we'll notice that it is in our working area, right? So I want to push this to our staging area rapidly. Git add dot. I'm assuming you know the Git workflow already, but you're just having an error to push, okay? Git commit. So if you want to watch a video on this workflow, check our YouTube channel. You're going to see a video on the Git workflow on how to pull and push, okay? I'll just call this new commit. So now let's clone a repository. If I do git remote-v, we have no repo, right? So I want to clone a repository. I want to clone a repository called YouTube tutorials. Okay. So YouTube tutorials, other engineers are already working with this environment. All right. Other engineers are already working with this environment. So let's say I want to also work with this environment. I'm just going to copy this repository happily. You can copy from the browser. You can as well click on code. You choose HTTP and you copy. Okay. So I'm going to add this git remote add origin. I paste the repo. It is added. So if I now do git remote-v, I have my repository added. All right. So I want to push these changes. So let me do git branch to see the branch I have first. Git branch. I have master branch. Okay. So I want to change this branch from master to main. Okay. I want to change this branch from master to main. I want to change this branch from master to main. Okay. Git branch. So a minute, let's change this from master to main. So it's very important because it's very important. So it's very important to change to main, right? Because as default, GitHub is using a main branch, okay? It's now, the branch is called main, but in our local repo, it's called master. So I've changed it now from master to main. So now I want to push, okay? I created that repo so you can see the workflow, okay? You can see the workflow. So now we have added the repo. So now we want to push that content. So you're going to have this error because our remote contains what is not in our local, okay? So what's the username of my GitHub tutor learn? So if you're using your normal terminal, if you're using SSH, if you're using a token, me, I'm using a token, okay? I'm using a token, you're using a token, it all depends on you. So I'll paste my token. So now you're having this error, you see? Rejected. Failed to push some refs to HTTP and all of this. Updates were rejected because the remote contain work that you do not have locally. That is true, right? If I do ls, I have app.py here. If I go back to GitHub, which repo am I trying to use? Not to confuse you, I just created a test to show you a workflow. I'm using YouTube tutorial repo. Now, we have main.tf in this repo. We have test.sh. So how do you expect to push? How do you expect to push? So if you push, it might override this. So you cannot push. You have to first of all pull all of this before pushing. Okay. So what we are going to do is we'll try to pull, right? When you try to pull, it's going to fail as well. So I'm going to say git pull, origin main. So it was trying to pull, it was showing you trying to pull and all of that. But now there's an error. Need to specify how to reconcile divergent branches. Okay. So you still have an error. So what do you need to do? What do you need to do? So you can either configure your system by default to automatically merge all the branches when you pull, or to either use rebase to merge the commit. So I'll advise you using rebase if you know what rebase is. And rebase will be good for people working in smaller environment. But if you're working in bigger environment and you want all your commit to be one commit, use merge. But if you want to use rebase, it's going to divide all your commit and give you a more clean work. Okay. But then we're going to run this command first. We're going to use merge. So we're going for the merge option because we have a lot of engineers. Okay. So we'll go with this command, git config pull false, pull.rebase false. Now, if we now try to let me clear my screen. If we now try to pull, that is it. If we now try to push, learn. Let me copy my token. Let me copy my token rapidly. So now you need to allow Git because now once you have run this command, let's say you don't actually own this repo, or this is your first time running with working with this repo. So when you have run the the first command, git config pull dot rebase force, it's going to tell you that refusing to merge unrelated history. If the history was related, or you were previously working with this info with these repositories, it's going to work, okay? But now we're having another error say refuse to merge unrelated history. So you need to run this command. You need to run this command. You need to run this command. Where is the command? Let me show you the command rapidly, okay? So you need to run git pull origin main dash dash allow unrelated history and you click enter. Okay. It's going to ask you to put a commit message. It's going to ask you to put a commit message insert, commit message, merging. So I'm just going to say merging, okay? Escape, save ship, ZZ. Perfect. So you now see it says sorry, I went right up by mistake. So this is it. We now have uh our branch that was made. It now say merge made by. So you see the strategy, right? We have main.tf and test.tf that is now in our environment. Okay. So it is very, very important. Well, we do ls now, we have main.tf, test.tf. Did we have this file? No. It was in our GitHub repo. So now, can we push? We can now push. I'm going to put my GitHub name, Stallion, and next, I'm going to copy my token. Okay, perfect. So we have pushed successfully now. Okay, so we have pushed successfully. If I now go to that repository, let me refresh. We now have app.py 10 minutes ago. Okay, that is it. This is a YouTube video. So if you like this video, please subscribe. Your issue has been resolved. I showed you the two methods. Okay, so I showed you the first step, which you're going to have this error. And I showed you the first command to run with this. If you have been working on that particular repo, this command is going to work very simple and you'll be able to push. But if you use this command and you further try to push and you still get error, the next command you're going to run is going to be git pull to allow unrelated history. Because if it tells you that this is unrelated history, you have to use this. Okay, if you like this video, please subscribe, give a thumbs up. We have a lot of videos in resolving issues. See you in our next video. Bye bye.